The Dinosaurs Next Door. Chapter 1. Mr. Puff. Mr. Puff lived in a tall blue house. Outside, it looked a little odd. Inside, it was even stranger. Mr. Puff was an inventor. His whole house was crammed with amazing inventions. His latest invention moved him from place to place in an instant. Before that, he invented a robot to clean up spills. And before that, he invented the Willy cup. But it spilled most of his tea, which was why he invented the robot. His new project wasn't an invention at all, but it was so exciting he had to ask Sam, his friend from next door, to see it. Sam had promised to come over after school. Chapter 2. The Eggs. At last, come in. When Sam arrived, Mr. Puff was bursting with excitement. He led Sam to his study and dived under a table. They have to be kept in the dark until the last moment. With a smile, Mr. Puff came out with a basket. Eggs, said Sam, looking at the 4 big eggs. These aren't just any old eggs, said Mr. Puff. They are dinosaur eggs. What? Cried Sam. But dinosaurs died out zillions years ago. How? Where? Mr. Puff looked mysteriously. Oh, they were to pay me for an invention, he said. Just then, the blue spotted egg began to jiggle and jump and bump in the basket. A crack appeared, zigging along the shell. Then another and another, until finally a little green head burst out. Wow, said Sam. The creature stared at Sam. Sam stared back. Isn't it wonderful? Said Mr. Puff. It's unbelievable. It's fantastic. But is it a dinosaur? Said Sam. Was it possible? It did look like a dinosaur. As they watched, the other eggs began to jiggle and jump and bump in the basket. Their shells shattered. The eggs had hatched. The baby dinosaurs were very lively. They looked around, making excited squeaks. I expect they're hungry, said Mr. Puff. What do dinosaurs eat? Let me go home for my dinosaur book, said Sam, and raced off. Soon he was back. That one looks like ours, said Sam. He pointed to a blue dinosaur with red spikes on its head. That one eats meat then, said Mr. Puff. But some dinosaurs only eat plants. They weren't sure what sort of dinosaurs the others were. So Sam put out a large plate of cat food and a large plate of salad, just in case. It's my dinner time too, said Sam. I have to go, but I'll be back. I must be the only person with dinosaurs next door. Chapter 3. Bigger and Bigger. Over the next 3 days, Mr. Puff watched the dinosaurs. He watched them grow and grow and grow. By day 4, he had to invent an extra long ruler to measure them all. By the 5th day, he was worried. They're getting fierce. They just keep growing, he told Sam. Can't you invent something to stop them? Sam asked. That's it, cried Mr. Puff. He ran up to his dark, dusty attic. Achoo! And came back with a silver box on wheels. A yellow hose sat coiled like a snake on top. What is it? asked Sam. This is my size old machine, Mr. Puff said proudly. It makes things shrink or grow. Perfect, said Sam. Does it work? Of course it works, said Mr. Puff. Ready? Steady, fire!